Today in Illustrator, we're on page 56 and we're starting on activity 5, which is we're going to learn more about applying color in Illustrator. We're going to go over the color palette, stroke palette, swatches palette, color picker, gradients, and meshes. So we're going to start right here and talk about the color palette first. So open up Adobe Illustrator, and the instructions say to create a new 500 by 500 pixel document. So File, New. Let's go ahead and call this fill, F-I-L-L, width 500, height 500, click OK. We have a blank artboard right here. It says to use the shapes tool, draw 6 shapes. So press M as in man. You got the shapes tool here. So we're going to use these in different varieties of shapes. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I might choose a fill color for that. Then I might draw a square holding down shift. Change that color here. We'll fill in the colors later. Rounded rectangle. And I'm going to do a hold down shift and do a circle. Do the polygon tool. Move that down. Another polygon, maybe triangle. There you go, I got 6 shapes. We're learning about the color palette. We are going to open the color palette if it's not visible. This is my color palette right here. You just go Window, Color, or F6. And here's the color palette. To change the color, we are going to select the fill box here, which is right here. This is the stroke box, this is the fill box. And you press X, you can flip back and forth. I am going to select the fill box in the color palette right here. Position the pointer over the color bar, which is this right here. It's a color spectrum. And when the pointer turns into an eyedropper, click. That shape I had selected, so it automatically changed the color there. Now if I want to select this one, I would just go and click on another color. One of the things you should know is if the color you have chosen is out of Gamut, then you will see an exclamation point with a yellow triangle here. Out of Gamut means that the color cannot be printed using CMYK colors. If the color you have chosen is not web safe, you'll see a cube. Well, you got the cube here. Well, you can always click on it to autocorrect, and that way it makes sure that it shows properly on a web browser. And you can do the same for CMYK colors. The directions say click on the fill box and drag the color to one of the shapes. So I'm going to choose another color. Here, I'm going to deselect that. Choose another color, and you can just drag it. Or click in here, drag it. Very easy. So I'm going to drag a color. See, I got the plus and release. That is the quickest way to add a color to a shape. If I hold down Command and let's say I select these 2 shapes, I could click right here and change both of them the same color. I could select all of them, do the same. So there's many quick ways to do that. Before I leave you, I want to talk to you about the different types of color. In the color palette, if you click here on the options, you can see that we're in CMYK mode. That's cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Now the CMYK model was developed for use in full color printing where 4 basic ink colors, cyan, which is blue, magenta, which is a red, yellow, and black, are combined to create desired colors. The color panel for the CMYK model has 4 sliders, 1, 2, 3, 4. One for each of the color models shown right here. So you can slide and change how much yellow you want, how much red, how much blue, and you get different percentages of color. You can create a color by dragging the sliders, typing percentages over here, or by clicking the eyedropper tool in the color spectrum. The lower color's percentage, the lighter the color. If all 4 sliders are set to 0, the color's white. Now each slider shows how the current color would change if the slider were dragged in one direction or another without moving the sliders. Though the CMYK model is chiefly used for illustrations that will be printed, The CMYK color panel displays the web-safe color block a user can click on to correct colors for browser use. Let's say you got a color. You want to make sure it's browser safe, you click right there. The next option is RGB, red, green, and blue. The RGB model uses the basic colors of light in the visible spectrum, red, green, and blue. When these colors of light are mixed together or added, they result in white. Well, drag them all the way and it's white. Drag them all the way to the left, it's black. The RGB model is best used for images that will appear on computer monitors, mobile devices, or in video or film productions. The color panel for the RGB model has 3 sliders that display red, green, and blue, as shown right here. Values on the sliders run from 0 to 255. When all 3 sliders are set to 0, it's black, because all color is absent. When they're at 255, they're white, because all color is present. Now, if all sliders are set to the same value, the result is a gray color. In the earliest days of the World Wide Web, the so-called web-safe color palette was developed, containing colors that would display the same way in all web browsers. And just real quick, we also have the HSB color model, and it's just based on how humans perceive color. The 3 characteristics we register when we see color are hue, saturation, and brightness. We also have grayscale. The grayscale model is the simplest model to understand and use. This model uses only one color, black, but you may adjust the percentage of black from 0 to 100%. Back to the fill assignment. When you're done, we are going to save this as fill. So File, Save As, and you're going to go to your 4-6 weeks folder, your period, last name, Illustrator, and save it as fill. Click Save. OK. And that is the color palette.
Thank you all for watching.
Hey class, if you like this video, please click like below and subscribe to this channel. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.